Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be so excited because today we are starting Onyx Storm. I just got out of the shower and I'm not reading it right now, but I read the first chapter this morning and oh my god, I'm so excited to read it. I'm currently editing my Iron Flame vlog. And that book literally took me 3 months to read. I started Iron Flame at the end of March and I didn't finish it until the end of June. I got really sick. I was in the hospital. I wanted to pause it because I wanted to give those characters and that story the time and respect they deserved. And I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to feel the high stakes, and I was feeling the high stakes of my life for the last 3 months. So I'm so happy that I did it that way and I didn't rush through it, and I waited until I was ready to really enjoy it and become reinvested in the characters and not just zoom through it just to finish it. So now it is June 30th. Tomorrow will be July 1st and I am finally reading Onyx Storm. So much is going on. I also need to make the disclaimer that this is full of spoilers. If you haven't read these books and you don't want to know what happens, then I would leave the premises now. So we're gonna get into the talk actually right now. Our boy Xaden is in the beginning stages of turning venom, which is so sad. I'm like devastated. It has taken it out of me. I can't believe he's venom. I don't know why I wasn't seeing that coming, because like once I finished Iron Flame, I was like, of course he's gonna be venom. It's the most like high stakes thing that could happen. His life, which is tethered to everyone else's lives, are literally in the balance. So of course that's what's gonna happen. So the book opens up with them trying to find a cure for venom, and Violet told Imogen, and now they're looking for the 7th kind to fix the wards at Artera. I don't know how to pronounce that word. She figured out that it's not 6 dragon's breath, it's 7. So now they're looking for the 7th kind, and I'm pretty sure her squad knows that Andarna is the 7th kind. I actually don't know that. I could be wrong on that. We'll clarify that tomorrow when we get back into reading it. I'm having so much fun already and I can't wait to get through it. I remember when this came out and I was literally just scrolling TikTok and seeing people's reactions to this book. Like, it planted the seed in my head that I needed to read Fourth Wing, because why are people freaking out? Like, what could possibly happen in this book that's going to make me freak out like that? I feel like I shouldn't say things like that because it's gonna mess me up now. But I'm very excited to get into this book, but it's almost time for Love Island. So I need to go watch my Love Island and then we're gonna read Onyx Storm. I'm so excited. Many things are going on. I'm on chapter 8 and Xaden is now the Duke of Tyrandor. Violet had a moment where her siblings are like, you'd be great in politics, where she was able to get the Navarre riders and the Artera riders to like calm down because they were about to brawl out and fight Dane, and they wanted to kill Dane and they wanted him to accept the challenge. Violet stepped in and she kind of like gave a great speech, and everyone is super proud of her because she is like kind of stepping into leadership a little bit more. She just messed with the stone that is holding up the ward for Navarre or Basgiath, and she made it possible for the riders to access their powers. They're trying to like come to an agreement in which the riders are able to stay at Basgiath and like train with the riders. Violet is about to go on a like mission to find Andarna's kind, and she really wants to like choose her squad that she's gonna take with her, and they're not letting her choose her squad. And she just found out that her and Xaden are the only shadow wielder and lightning wielder that exist at the same time since the Great War. We have a lot of things going on. Xaden is like trying not to turn venom, but he can like feel the pull of venom. He's now able to sense when other venom are near. He almost siphoned magic when him and Violet were getting freaky. He's now petrified of losing control around her, so he doesn't want to be with her like physically because what that could do to her, and she's refusing to like not be with him. She's like putting herself at greater risk, and everyone wants her to stop doing that. She refuses. So much is going on and I'm having so much fun. All right, y'all, I just got out of Target and I've been reading a little bit in my car. It's like the hottest day of the entire year. It's reading at, right now it's at 98 degrees, but I just picked up this book. I've been seeing it all over my TikTok and all over my Instagram, and I got the sprayed edges. This book is gorgeous. I know it's another fantasy book. I know it's enemies to lovers, and I'm very excited to be reading that. But, oh my God, Violet Soaringale just took on basically everyone, and the queen is thanking her. So now she has access to all of like the great libraries from the queen of the flyers. So Xaden is mad that she just risked her life for him because she was actually arrested for treason. But the queen was very grateful, and so she let her go with nothing. So they basically use the power of the Wardstone to give the flyers powers again, and she got away with it. So that is so iconic. We love Violet Soaringale and her iconery. I'm about to run into Costco. Wish me luck. It's the hottest day of the year. I really hope the spine of my book doesn't melt while I'm in here. So okay, y'all, so it is a few days later, and let me just tell you, my guy, Xaden Ryerson, he gets better and better every time I read him. I swear to God, so much has happened. It is actually 4th of July weekend, and I ended up taking my Kindle, and I didn't think I was going to read as much as I was, but I was so in this world. I stayed up till like 2 o'clock in the morning reading Onyx Storm. I'm up to page, it says on my Kindle app that I'm up to page 231. So much has happened. Please ignore the clothes in the background that I should be folding right now. So Xaden is now officially Violet's professor, which means they can't be together and she can't break the codex, and Dane's father Ados is like on her. Like, he is not giving her a break. He's making her life miserable. We had to move it over to the couch because my kids were being very loud over there. But so much is going on. They put together this little group, this little squad to go look for Andarna's kind. Violet really wants them to go look in the south, but the guy who put it together, I'm blanking on his name right now, the guy who put it together wants them to go to the north. Dane just broke into his father's chambers, which used to be Violet's parents' chambers, and he stole for Violet. There was like a trick bottom in a desk, and in it was this like locked batch of like papers that were protected by this password, and she figured out that the password was her mom's dragon's name. She got into the book and she found a letter from her father telling her where to look, and she thinks this letter is about the 7th kind, the 7th breed of dragon. And so she just told Xaden about it. But something else interesting that happened is apparently our girl Violet used to date the prince, this guy Halden. And Halden, why am I so bad at remembering names? And he just came during Xaden's like second lesson where he brought Garrick. She's learning that all of the marked riders, so the children of the rebellion, they all have second signets, and she is like slowly throughout the book figuring it out. I think she said Garrick is a distance wheeler. He was able to get to her in time after a venin kind of like set a trap for Violet, where they had to get one of the Flyers family. They like saved her family, and she like flew into a tornado. Like, so much has been going on. She flew into this tornado, and Taryn got really hurt, and for a minute there I thought he died. I was literally in the car while my husband was driving, and I was reading it, and it freaked me out so bad because I thought Taryn died. I got very scared. I was screaming in the car, but he was okay, thank God. She was like confused as how Garrick got there, and Xaden kind of like lost control, and he siphoned magic from the ground. I think that's what he said. He like slipped, and he apologizes to Violet for letting her down, and she forgives him. He like freaks out because he couldn't get to her, and she realizes like, oh, Garrick got here really quickly and was able to like help her. She like reset her knee and all that. Anyway, so during this like second lesson that Xaden is doing, all of a sudden this guy shows up, and he's apparently the prince of the realm, and he's also Violet's ex-boyfriend who cheated on her with a redhead. As a Hugh and Liz fan, when I read that, it really pissed me off. Immediately I was mad. But anyway, and Xaden just gave this beautiful monologue that I will read because it kind of took my breath away. So the prince like shows up, and he's like being really sassy with Violet, and then he is like obviously flirting with her, and then he hits on her, and then he asks her out to dinner, and he's about to like touch her hair, and Xaden slams him against a wall with his shadows, and I thought that was so funny. And then he shows up to Violet's room, even though he's not allowed there because he is now her professor. She's like realizing like, oh my god, Xaden really is jealous. And he goes, yes love, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of the armor that holds you when I can't, the sheets on your bed that caress your skin every night, and the blades that feel your hands. So when the prince of our realm walks into my classroom and starts talking to the woman I love with what can only be considered intense familiarity, and then has the audacity to ask her out right in front of me, naturally I'm going to get jealous. I love him. I love him so much. Even like when she found out that he was her professor, she literally says, we live by the codex, and he says, I live by you. And I was speechless when I read that. I said, oh, I love me some Xaden Ryerson. Something else that's very interesting is they just figured out the reason why Xaden is like teaching at Basgiath, however you pronounce it. The reason he's teaching there is because Violet, when she was like tricked by the venin to come save, I think was a girl's name Marin, they found out that the venin have signets, and one of them is a lightning wielder like Violet. Okay, so the first aisle that they went to, Violet fought the queen. They have no magic. Xaden almost died, and she was able to help Xaden win his match. They didn't get the help from the lady, and Andarna's kind is not there. The next place that they went was Xaden's mom's house, which he didn't know. And we just found out that she knew that they were coming, and she's been hoarding chocolate because Xaden's favorite cake is chocolate cake. And Xaden hates her, and that's fine by me. They just poisoned Garrick, and Redoc just got stabbed in the stomach. So much is going on, and we are no closer to finding a cure for venin or finding Andarna's kind. And I am 60% of the way through Onyx Storm. Do we cure venin? Do we cure venin in this? Redoc and Garrick better be okay. They better be okay. I can't believe this. Also, Violet is carrying around serum and an antidote, which could like kill Xaden if he goes too far. and starts to siphon magic. The odds are against us. The odds are against us, and we, I fear, are losing time, because that time that Xaden used Violet's, the thing that she keeps in her hand that she channels magic into, he used that and killed the guards. When they went to Deverelli, Xaden killed 12 guards with magic that he channeled from Violet's conduit. That's what it's called. So many words, so many things, so many people to remember. So he used the conduit and was able to siphon magic, and he killed 12 guards. And ever since then, his eyes are starting to turn from onyx to amber, or from like gold to amber. This is so not good. Like, nothing good is going on. My hair is a frizzy mess. And Redoc was just stabbed. So I'm gonna read on because so much is happening. I'm at like lion status, but I'm in my bathroom and I'm getting ready. But so much has happened. And we're gonna discuss as I get ready. They found the Irids. It's really sad. The Irids fled because they want to use magic for peace, and they don't like that dragon kind are used as weapons. They left Andarna there to see the progress that could potentially be made, and apparently they're very disappointed in Andarna because Andarna is being used as a weapon, and she was used as a child even though Violet didn't know she was a child. And so Violet feels like really guilty, and I don't like that Andarna has like a scorpion tail. Everyone is saying how like awesome Andarna is. She's smart and she's done everything she can to help Violet and help them like defeat the venom. But her kind are like really upset that this is what Andarna has turned into, and they blame the humans, aka Violet, for making her that way. And Andarna is really disappointed, but she at least tries to ask for a cure for venom, and apparently there is none. There's no cure for venom. Redoc just found out about Xaden and Xaden turning, and he called him a dark wielder, which is like devastating to hear. And they basically said that Xaden forfeited his soul, and that there's like no way to help him. Oh my lord. Not good. Nothing good is happening. I really thought that when they found the Irids, we'd get some kind of, you know, like progress made, but they really have made no progress on this mission, and it was kind of all for nothing. It literally feels like I am watching The Empire Strikes Back, where everything they're doing, they're failing. Also, Xaden's mom, I don't know if I talked about this yet, Xaden's mom's husband tried to poison them all, and it almost killed Garrick. But geez, it is not going well, and it's making me really upset because I don't think I could read another series where there's like not a happy ending, and I don't have like anything to look forward to yet. There's no announcement on a next book. There's no hope. I'm really hoping this has like a decent ending. I don't have a good feeling specifically for Xaden, but two things I want to note before I move forward with reading Onyx Storm. Number one being that when I can't remember the place they went to, like the name is leaving my brain, but when they went, there were people there with silver hair like Violet. But apparently for Violet's hair to turn that color, her parents would have had to dedicate her. I don't know to what or to whom, but apparently that's the case. Apparently Andarna might have given Violet a second signet. We don't know yet, but apparently the Irids said that that Andarna gave Violet a very special power, and Violet is like, I don't have a second signet, so what does that mean? What does that mean for Violet? Is another signet coming? Is it something that could cure Venom? I am whispering, and I'm holding my mic hopefully close, so hopefully the sound isn't horrible. It has been a very long day. It was a very fun day, but it was very long. And I was just in the car for 2 hours with 2 screaming children who were also fighting each other the entire time. I jumped in the shower, took all my makeup off, and was really thinking about all I have been reading. We got a lot to cover. So where we left off was Ridoc. I don't know how to pronounce these names. Redoc. I'm gonna call him Redoc. Redoc he just found out that Xaden is turning Venom from the Irids, and he basically gives Violet and Xaden like an ultimatum, like, you have to tell the rest of our like most important members of our squad, otherwise I'm gonna tell them. Like, this is really dangerous. And he makes a really good point, and he says that not only is it dangerous for, like, obviously Xaden like losing his mind and losing his soul and like going crazy. If anyone ever wanted to kill Xaden, when they find out that Xaden is Venom because he's so powerful, all they have to do is kill Violet, and that will immediately kill Xaden. And so he's really just looking out for Violet, and he, as soon as they get back, basically he makes Violet tell Sawyer and Rhiannon. She finally has like a conversation with Xaden about what all happened with the Irids, and he is like convinced that had he not been there, he said that he could feel, because we know now like Xaden can kind of read minds, but really he reads intentions, and he believes that when they found out that Violet didn't know that Andarna was still a child when Andarna bonded her, that they would have like trusted Violet and thought Violet like a good rider for Andarna. And he believes because they figured out that Xaden is turning Venom, that it kind of like messed up the mission, and how all throughout the mission, like, it's Xaden's fault that they didn't really accomplish what they set out to accomplish, because their mission was to, one, find Andarna's kind and have them breathe for the Wardstone, and the second thing they wanted was a cure for Venom. And he finds out from the Irids, apparently there is no cure. That's not good. That is not good. Someone named Lynx, I'm pretty sure that's his name, Lynx, he just manifested the power of shadow wielding. And Xaden says it's because magic knows and magic demands like a balance. And because Xaden is a shadow wielding Venom, therefore Lynx is now going to be the shadow wielder for Navarre, I guess. Is that who we're fighting for? Tyrandor, Basquiat, their side, the good side, right? So the shadow wielder of the good side is now Lynx instead of Xaden. Sigale is also having a really hard time with this. Taryn is having a really hard time with this because all of their lives are like linked. Violet basically told Redoc, like, if Xaden ever hurts me, that's when you can turn him in, because I know then that he's not himself. I think, let's pull the Kindle out. Let's pull the good old Kindle out. I am 74% of the way through. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this, Sawyer has lost his leg. He's been very scared to fly. There's never been like a one-legged or one foot really, because I'm pretty sure it's like cut at the knee. but there's never been like a 1-foot dragon rider, and therefore he is unsure about flying. I'm at chapter 47 where he's about to attempt something. Probably my favorite moment that I read of the night is when Violet gives Xaden his birthday gift, and it's like this wrist cuff made of onyx. Yes, black metal wrist cuff made of onyx, but in the center there are pieces from Ryerson House. She says that every time he looks down on it, maybe he can remember their times that they would sit up on the roof of Ryerson House and look over the city. And it just made me start sobbing because it reminded me of Hugh and Liz's anklet that he got her, and how in some of the snippets it's like Lizzie looking at the anklet after they're not together. And I have a very sick gut feeling that that is the road we are about to embark on. Okay, it's the next morning and I've been reading all morning and Andarna's gone. She just lost Andarna. Brennan and Mira are fighting that there are missing chapters in what's her face's journal. What's the mom's name? But there are missing parts in the journal, and Violet was too little to stay with the grandmother, and when the parents came back, the grandmother stopped speaking to her. I think they dedicated Violet. Oh my god, what does that mean? What? I don't know what dedicated means though, and I feel like I'm supposed to know that. Mira just found out that Xaden is turning venom. Violet just put it together in her head that her father took her to that place. I can't remember what it's called, but he took her to that place to have her dedicated to fix her, and they didn't complete her dedication because apparently her path wasn't clear. The high priestess said, what did she said, the heart that beat for you or within you would do the wrong thing for the right reason and reach for unspeakable power and turn dark, which is what Xaden did. So this all feels very like this was a prophecy from the beginning. All of this is meant to happen. Even the sage said that to Xaden, and we just discovered that, I don't know if I spoke about this, that Violet is potentially a dream walker, and that is her second signet given to her by Andarna, and Andarna kind of confirmed it. But does she still have that power now that Andarna's gone? I'm confused. I'm so confused. And Mira's now mad and not speaking to them. They're basically saying that Xaden is going to reach for the power, is what I'm gathering. I'm at 86% and I have about 100 pages left. If this book ends with Xaden turning like full venom, like what happens to the bond? What happens to Sigale? What happens to Taryn? I'm so confused. And I keep looking at Rebecca Yarros' Instagram. She's writing the next book right now, but there's no... I think I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. I've been waiting for Claiming 10. Am I now going to be waiting for the fourth book for like years? I can't do this again. Oh my god, Mira's dead! They just killed the sister! Alright, y'all. Last night, I finished Onyx Storm. I literally just woke up and I'm only doing this right now because my kids are still in bed. So I have a minute that we can discuss. I chipped a nail, that's great. I was running around my house literally screaming because this had me going literally crazy. I'm speechless. I think, number one, my favorite read of the year, like 100%. I loved Iron Flame, but this broke my mind. It broke my heart. I've spent all night listening to videos from other people about like theories on what's gonna happen next, and literally all of them make me cry. Everyone else who's read this, how have y'all waited like more than a year and a half? This came out in January of 2025. It is now July 2026. I would be losing my mind. Like, genuinely losing my mind. Because what do you mean we have no answers? What do you mean? Where I left off with y'all yesterday, Mira had her throat cut by, and y'all, I am so bad with these names. In my brain, I kept saying it, Stephanie with a T. Tiffany, still, Stephanie. We'll put her up on the screen because I can't remember her name. The Venom Maven who is hunting down Violet. She kidnaps Mira and she knows that Violet's gonna come, and I really loved the scene where they wake up in the middle of the night because Violet has walked into Xaden's dream. Someone like knocks on their door, and in Xaden's dream they keep hearing like, you can't save her. So when they go down and they are all like discussing like how all the leaders are basically stationed elsewhere, and Xaden realizes like, oh my god, like this literally falls on him. I was going crazy. Oh, here comes my daughter. The book. Xaden had to like step up and be a leader and like strategize and like put people, like tell people where to go. And I love how he was taking like advice from everyone. And there's this part where I think it's Dane. It's either Dane or Brennan, where he's like, the reason why she wants you is because she knows that Violet is going to try and save everyone, and Xaden is always going to save Violet and like choose Violet. When I read that, I was like, oh, we are in trouble. Like, we are in so much trouble, like, because that is exactly true. Violet is always trying to save everyone, and Xaden is always choosing her over everything. They figure out like Mira is missing. They go to get Mira. Like, that's priority, is we need to get Mira. As soon as they get there, that lady is being all dramatic and evil and crazy, and she cuts Mira's throat. Not good. They are able to mend her, but Brennan doesn't have enough power, and Dane is like, he tells Sloane, like, siphon my power into Brennan so he can save Mira. And when Sloane does that, she realizes how powerful Dane is. She literally says, no one should have this much power. What does that mean? What does that, like, Dane is like ultra powerful? I have a feeling that's gonna come up in the next book. And then Violet sends Taryn to get her dragon and carry her dragon to safety. Taryn is like, he doesn't want to do it, but he does. And as soon as Taryn is gone, crazy lady over here, I can't pronounce her name, Stephanie, whatever her name is, she pulls up to Violet. She looks up and she sees who I am assuming, because it switches to Rhiannon's point of view. We got a chapter of Rhiannon being a badass and like being the leader that she is. I thought that was really cool. I didn't understand the point of it though. I was like, okay, they're also losing this battle. So it's like, oh no, everything is bad. But we get to see Rhiannon be like really cool and badass, and we got to see our second year squad, and it was so much fun to like see them act as a team outside of Violet's perspective, because Violet is always like kind of doing her own thing because she's the one that could like actually kill them with her signet, and so they're all just like fighting. So that was really cool to see. We also got like an Imogen POV, which was really cool. This, I think, though, is very important, the Imogen POV, because of things that happen at the end. Obviously, she likes Garrick, we know this, but Quinn dies. I was not very invested in Quinn, so it like didn't hit me when Quinn died. I felt really bad for Imogen, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't sad to see Quinn go, but I was sad that Imogen had to see her go. Then we are back in Violet's POV, and there's a literal Onyx Storm of shadows that turn everything basically like pitch black. And even Violet is like, oh my god, this is not like Xaden using Sigal's power. This is a power that could end worlds, is what she says. So like, we know basically that Xaden is siphoning from the earth, and he is turning venom in this moment. And she whispers down the bond, I love you, basically like saying goodbye to Xaden. And I was not okay reading this. Something else I didn't even mention is that the reason Violet like gets to the ground is because he hears Sigal scream, and then he screams Sigal. A net catches them basically, and they fall to the ground, and Violet breaks her arm. Things that happen at the end in that last chapter. What happened to Tarn? What happened to Sigal? Did their bond break? Did their bond break? Just saying it out loud, like I have goosebumps and chills, and it like breaks my heart. Did Tarn and Sigal's bond break in that moment? I won't be okay. I will not be okay if Tarn just lost Sigal. But it would make sense, because if now Xaden is gone and he's venom and they can't be together, they can't see each other anymore. This has kept me up all night like thinking about this. Like the shadows like wash over Violet. She said it feels like the softest touch she's ever felt, and we know it's like Xaden saying goodbye. Something else that's crazy, Auric, apparently he could see the future. He foresaw all of this, and he sent her a dagger of Dune, and he like sent her a note saying to strike in the dark. And Tarn is like yelling at Violet, like when these shadows turn everything black, strike now, strike, strike, use your lightning to strike. But she strikes with the dagger, and she kills evil venom lady. That was cool. She confirmed for Violet that her dedication is not done, and her parents did try to dedicate her to Dune. That's gonna come up, like especially with what happened in the last chapter, that's gonna come up. And then we get to Xaden's POV, and we see him basically like saying goodbye to his soul. I cried like a baby reading that. That was devastating. And the one thing he holds on to, he hears Violet's I love you down the bond, and he like grabs it and he holds on to it and locks it inside himself, and he pulls his hands off the ground. So does that mean there is a part of Xaden that is going to be okay? I really need it to mean that. He like lets down his shield for Sigal, because he asks Sigal like, are you going to forsake me? Are you going to leave me? And Sigal basically is like, what is there left to forsake? And he like, she looks into Xaden's mind, because she's like, she'll never agree to this. Agree to what? Agree to what? Some people think it's Violet. He's going to ask Violet to turn venom with him. Some people think it's about like the proposal. Yeah, that happens. I don't know what I think. I'm scared. Or like, apparently some people think that Xaden has had this plan this whole time, and now it's time to put the plan into action, and Sigal doesn't think Violet would agree to it, and someone owes Xaden a favor, which we know the High Priestess of Dune owns Xaden a favor. So we find out that Panchak was a traitor, which like, of course. Of course he was. Which we knew beforehand. Someone says, I can't remember who says in a few chapters earlier, that there are traitors in our ranks. So was not surprising to see that someone was a traitor. But then he looks over and there's someone with him turning venom. And I have seen many theories about this. Some people think it's Garrick. Some people think it's Bodhi. I even saw a theory that it's Liam, which if you really think about it, Liam, I don't want it to be Liam, but if it was, that would be crazy. Right now, I believe it's Bodhi. He wants to help Xaden. The whole book, the way Xaden like vows like he will do anything for Violet, Bodhi is vowing to Xaden that he would do anything for Xaden. And we know his signet is to counteract other signets. So, and he can't counteract in that scene with Violet, he can't counteract Venom Lady's signet. So maybe he turns Venom so he can counteract the Venom signets. That would be incredible. And then we get to the last chapter, and Violet is waking up very confused, and Brennan is looking at her like, what happened to you? I do think she has silver hair. Like, I think she was dedicated to Dune. Her dedication is complete. I think she is full on silver hair Violet. And I think that will be so cool. And she sees a note in her pocket, and it's from Xaden, and it says, "Don't look for me, it's yours now." I assume we mean Tyrandor, right? Tyrandor is hers now, because if Xaden and Bodhi both turned Venom and they can't lead Tyrandor, obviously he loves her so much and he married her because he loves her so much, but I think he also married her so that she could have Tyrandor and it didn't fall to what's his name, King Tory and Halden. And so I think he gave her Tyrandor, and this whole book he's been trying to teach her how to defeat him, how to find him in the dark, how to like basically kill him. And so I think this whole time he's been giving her all the tools she needs for when he is like this really powerful Venom. I don't know if he would fight against them, but like he is now kind of against them. He's the very thing that they are trying to defeat. I think he gave her the map on how to take him down. I don't know if I'm excited for the next book. I do think she's gonna, and I think I'm gonna do a whole separate like sit down video where we talk about like theories and like what all could be coming next. I think I'll do that closer to when we know about the fourth book, because I have so many racing thoughts and I like can't get them all like sorted in my head right now. The High Priestess married Xaden and Violet, so they are now married. I was so excited, but I felt really bad that she couldn't remember it. I felt really bad that I wasn't there to see it. And then we find out that Imogen wiped her memories. Also, Andarna's back. When I saw Andarna was back, I was laying on the couch, my kids were watching a movie, my husband was laying with them. I got up and screamed when Andarna came back because I knew she would. Like, Andarna loves Violet so much. I was like, there's no way Andarna left Violet. Like right now when she's about to lose Xaden, we don't know what that's gonna do to Taryn and Sigale. I knew. I was like, we are gonna see our girl Andarna again. And we did. And I was so happy to see her because damn, Violet really needed her. She really needed her in that moment. You need to be able to find me because you're the only one capable of killing me. Crazy. I loved Onyx Storm. I gave every Fourth Wing book 5 stars. I think when I do my theory video, I'll be able to like really sort my thoughts and like really see how I feel, because this was my first fantasy series I've ever read, and oh, I'm so happy I read it because I love every character in this book. Even her mom, like I'm thinking about her mom and her dad, and I'm like, oh my god, they really like laid it out for the kids to like be successful in this war. And maybe they knew that it was gonna come to this and it was gonna be their kids that were gonna have to do it. So I'm really excited for the next book. I can't believe it's over. I'm like so sad that it's over and I can't, like, when do we know about the next book? I went on Rebecca Yarros' Instagram and she's very obviously like, I don't know if she's writing it or if it's done, but I can't get in that mindset again. I'm still waiting for Claiming 10 and I can't get in the mindset of when is this book coming out, because it'll drive me crazy. I had the time of my life with Onyx Storm. I read it so fast. I read it in like 4 days. And does this mean the next book is white? Silver? If Violet's hair is full silver, I do think the next book is gonna be silver, because I heard a theory with like the covers is like this is this book, it's black, but it's turning silver. And then on Fourth Wing, it was like turning orange. And then in Iron Flame, it was turning black. So does this mean the next one is gonna be silver? And if Violet's hair is silver, that makes perfect sense to me. I absolutely loved this book. I can't wait to do a whole theory video about it when I could like collect my thoughts and like write it all down and then we can discuss, because apparently it's coming out next year. Apparently a lot of books are coming out next year. Brave the Dark. This book is gorgeous. I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.